আধা ঘন্টা কীর্তন করছি। Oh Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki, Anantapuri Vaishnavin ki, Rama Acharya Haridas Thakur ki, Name say Holy Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Vaishnavas ki Gopa. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kundra.
Thank you all for coming for this wonderful festival of chariots, Banihati festival, and also today's Adivas ceremony. So we'd like to, on behalf of Iskcon Atlanta, we'd like to welcome you all for this wonderful festival of Chiradahi Mahotsav and Adivas ceremony and Rath Yatra Mahotsav. So let's welcome you all by chanting one time Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in this festival, so this is known as Adivas ceremony. Adivas ceremony generally starts, it's a pre-invocation before the actual festival takes place. So generally we offer different items to the Lord, like sandalwood, gandha, pushpa. Then there are almost like 25 to 26 items that we offer to the deities. It will be touched to the head of the deities, earth, and then it will also be touched to the head of judgment. So we have many devotees come from all over the world, and there are more coming. And we have Iskcon of Atlanta management have organized a very beautiful way to take care of all the devotees who are coming here. There will be wonderful festival, cultural program, wonderful prasadam. And then we have so many senior devotees also have come here for this festival. We have SrutaKirti Prabhu, who is a servant of Prabhupada. He actually arrived from Australia, all the way from Australia. He was there in Australia. And I saw how he was speaking about the glories of Srila Prabhupada and his association with Srila Prabhupada. It's just passionate. You will get to hear from him. And then we have Balabhadra Prabhu, who is also Prabhupada disciple, and he was actually a temple president for 17 years. And then we have Shiki Maiti Prabhu, who is presently co-president of this temple here. And we have Parampara Prabhu. We have many other Prabhupada disciples also going to come here. And you will get to hear tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you will get to hear the Prabhupada Lila Smaranam in this temple here at around 10:30, 10 a.m. So there's a beautiful, so many nice festivities going to take place here. And so many devotees have come from all over the world. They're going to be coming here, and they already came here. And you take the association here and chant. And this Adivas ceremony is invoking the Lord and the devotees. So you can partake in this festival and enjoy it, and there will be a judgment who is going to take care of you all, that you are all well fed, taken care of. And when you go from here after the festival, and you go with a smiling face. So this is the beautiful festival of this Rath Yatra. And now we're going to start. There are so many items that we're going to offer to the Lord. And before that, we're going to chant some Vedic mantra. And then we're going to start all these different items on the Lord's head and the Mother Earth.
Just to add to Sweta Sarup's announcement, this, as a reminder, as all you are aware, is the 50th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada visiting Atlanta. Srila Prabhupada Ki! SrutaKirti was telling me he has a meeting tomorrow where they're discussing all these kirtans. And Atlanta is going to be part of that discussion. So he will speak after this. He's going to speak about Prabhupada's visit and the realizations that he has of that visit. So please be here. Hare Krishna. You need my wine, you think, or this?
Hari Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunantu Sahabijam Karavavahi Tejasvina Vadittamavitvisavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Punantamam Devajana Punantamanasadiya Punanta Vishwabhutani Jata Veda Punimam. Om Asya Karmanaham Punyam Bhavantu Bhavantu. Om Punyaham Om Punyaham Om Punyaham. Om Udgaya Samragaya Shri Brahma Putra Venasansasi Visheshashvataritona Shakuna Vatramavadaha Vishatona Shakuna Punyavadaha. Om Ashyakamasti Bhavantayaspati Swasti. Om Sasti Om Sasti Om Sasti. Om Sastinindra Vidasravaha Sastina Pushpavedaha Sastina Rikshinimyaha Sastina Vyaspidaridadatu. Om Ashyakamasti Bhavantayaspati Swasti. Om Riddatam Om Riddatam Om Riddatam. Om Ridyamam Samaja Vajaman Mantra Sarate Vajatam Jasona Pakvamadvantuashi Kamaparaha. Om Sasina Govinda Sasina Chutanando Sasina Vasudha Vishnu Dadatu. Sasina Narayana Narabhai Sasina Padmanabha Purushottama Dadatu. Om Sasina Vishwasana Vishwasvaraha Sasina Rishikishera Dadatu. Sasina Bhanantari Sasina Nasu Bhagavato Dadatu. Sasti Sasti Shamangalai Keshamahan Sri Krishna Sachidananda Gana Sarveshwara Dadatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ओम जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। ओम नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात् तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात् तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात्। ओम मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलोतायनो हरिः। ओम सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्ष सहस्रपाद स्वयंविशतो वृत्तम् अष्टतिष्ठदशाङ्गुलाम्। ओम स्वागतं सुस्वागतं क्लीं घोराय नमः क्लीं नित्यानन्दाय नमः। ओम पुरुषाय वेदकं सर्वं यद्भुतं यश्च भाव्यं उतमृतत्वशेषानः यदन्नेन तिरोहति। ओम स्वागतं सुस्वागतं क्लीं नित्यानन्दाय नमः क्लीं घोराय नमः। ओम एतवानश्च महिमा अथो जयगं च पुरुषः पादोश्च भवत्पुनः ततो विश्वं व्यक्रामते शशनानशने अभि। ओम यह तिष्ठ यशन्निदेवी यशकले गुरु क्लीं नित्यानन्दाय नमः क्लीं घोराय नमः। ओम पंचतत्वाय नमः। ओम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम पंचतत्त्वकं कृष्ण भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्त्यावतारं भक्त्याख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकरं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुता देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम आयतनम आयतनम भवतु जो मं आयतनम भवतु जो मं जो पुष्पम आयतनम भवतु जो। ओम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे।
Yeah, no water, no.
Krishna Krishna।
Hare Krishna dear devotees. Since today is Adivash, today I'm going to be singing the Adivash Kirtan. You can search it up on Google and search up Adivash Kirtan or Nana Dravya Ayojana Karikare Nimantrana. Everyone together.
Hare Hare. And let's surrender. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Pariyatidam Festival Ki. So we are very fortunate. We have, as we mentioned here, His Grace SrutaKirti Prabhu Ki. He's going to speak to us again, this being the 50th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada's visit to Atlanta. We begin celebrating this on the day Prabhupada was here during Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. That painting you see in the back there, Srila Prabhupada offered arti to that painting. So we're going to continue this celebration till the end of the year throughout our various festivals. So let's give a nice warm welcome to His Grace SrutaKirti Prabhu. We also want to welcome, we have with us His Grace AtlantaTemple Prabhu Ki from Vrindavan. So he will speak tomorrow on Srimad Bhagavatam. He didn't know that, but it'll be more Rath Yatra talk, right? I'll give you the time later. What's the time tomorrow? You think class about 8? 8 o'clock. No, it's not 8. Okay, 6:30. You got a microphone?
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna. Still dealing with Vrindavan. It's a great great honor and privilege to be here. I'm seeing more and more. As the Prabhu said, 50 years ago, I was here with Srila Prabhupada for Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's appearance day, Vyas Puja Day. I was also with him in Caracas, Miami, and it's taken a long time. But I see in Krishna consciousness, everything's connected. Everything is connected. This 50th anniversary has been happening everywhere now around the world. And I just happened to be with Srila Prabhupada during that time. We were just in Krishna Balaram Mandir, 50th anniversary, the installation of Sri Krishna Balaram, Gurnitai, Radhashama Sundar Lalita Vishaka. And that was Ram Navami. Anyway, is what I realized at that time, of course, Prabhupada did the very first arati ceremony. We all see those video, we see the pictures of Srila Prabhupada doing the arati. Every time he turned to the congregation, the smile getting bigger and bigger each time until finally the chamara and the fan at the end. You could see Prabhupada's pride. One of the very first things I heard from Srila Prabhupada was, before I was his servant, it was in New Dwarka, Los Angeles. And just 5 of us sitting in Prabhupada's garden. We would go in there every afternoon, and I became the designated Krishna book reader for about 5 days. So it was passed on from one group of devotees to the next who were going there for initiation. And I had the Krishna book in hand, and with the others, Prabhupada walked in, we all followed behind him, offered obeisances, and sat down. And first thing, he looked at me, and so I'm holding the Krishna book, and he said, "I like the cowherd boys very much." And then we're sit there, just everything, watching Srila Prabhupada, every move he made, every look, every glance, the pure devotee on us. And then the one day, and he would sit there, just like he did everywhere, just on a cushion, with a trellis over him, flowers, tulsis around in the garden. He said it was his favorite place because Tulsi Devi was there. It was his favorite place. And always sat very straight. And the one day, we're just, what do you say, just every word, just waiting for every word. And again, he looked at his young little disciples, 18, 19, 20 years old. And he pushed his chest out, already sitting straight, but he sat with his chest out. Say, Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. We're proud to be servants of Krishna. That's the first time I ever heard that a devotee has pride. We always know devotees humble. That we hear over and over. Every morning we chant those prayers, Shastakam. Humbler than a blade of grass. But he said, devotees proud to be servants of Krishna. He said, everyone is servant. Serving their wife, serving their husband, serving their employer, serving their dogs. He said, but we're servants of Krishna. He said, that's our pride. And after he said that, he looked at us and he looked at me. He said, Krishna, maybe he's God, maybe he's not. He said, we don't care. We just love Krishna. I was in the temple for a year, I think all this time, learning that Krishna is God. Now he's saying, we don't even care if he's God. That's devotee. He just loves Krishna. That's the gopis. They don't know. He said, they don't know he's God. He's not God. It doesn't matter. They just love that beautiful boy. So anyway, a few years later, Prabhupada in 2 months traveled around the world. He left India, Mumbai. I could tell you all the places he went. Went from Mumbai, stopped in Hong Kong, Japan, Hawaii, Los Angeles, Mexico City, and then he went to Caracas. That was February 1975. He went to Caracas. It was very nice. I had been there in Caracas for 6 months before rejoining Srila Prabhupada. Anyway, he arrives in Caracas, he sits in the Vyasa-san, and he sees Sri Sri Gaur Nitai on the altar. And he said, they've traveled very far to be with you. Yeah. It was Prabhupada traveling so far. Srila Prabhupada installing these deities everywhere around the world. But he saw them, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai on the altar. He went into ecstasy. This trip, 1975, 10 years after Srila Prabhupada arrived in America. We're about to have the 60th anniversary of Prabhupada placing his lotus feet at Boston Harbor in September. 60th anniversary, they're going to have a big, big celebration. So we see Gaur Nitai speaking how merciful Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, they're so merciful. He stayed there 1 week. When I look back more and more, I see the ecstasy Srila Prabhupada was in. 10 years. 10 years traveling around the world, 14 times. This was probably his 13th trip around the world. And he sees Krishna consciousness is going to every town and village. Everywhere he goes, people are chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everywhere. All his hard work, austerity. We say we just came from 1 month in Australia. 50th anniversary of the installation, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai. We had a wonderful Abhishek ceremony on Sunday. Thousands attended. Congregation is so big they need another temple. When Prabhupada arrived there for the opening, 1975, he walked into the temple room. It's about the same size as this temple room. A little smaller, I think. He walked in and said, the temple's too small. It wasn't too small at the time, but Prabhupada's vision was different. He could see future. Same deities, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai deities, were installed that day, 50 years ago, from the same casting. And this is what I'm seeing now in Caracas. Same deities are there, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai from the same mold, the same casting. Prabhupada went into ecstasy, seeing those deities. He hadn't come here yet. He was on his way here. So then after Caracas, he went to Miami. Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, same deities are on the altar. Prabhupada went into ecstasy, talking about how merciful Lord Chaitanya is, how merciful Lord Nityananda is. And he told them, he said, maybe someday, he said, you'll have Radha Krishna. He said, but then you must be very careful. He said, Radha Krishna make offenses, responsible for those offenses. Then he said, Gaur Nitai are so merciful, even if you make some offense accidentally, they don't mind, they forgive you. And then he said, and Radha Krishna is right there. And Lord Chaitanya, he said, so you go on. He spent just a few days there. It was also monumental days he spent there in Miami. I'll tell you a little side story. I have been traveling with them again almost a year, over 2 years now. I always was afraid to go to India. Always got sick in India. I won't describe the illnesses, but I was always sick in India. And I knew, again, Prabhupada's heading to India. So I talked to Nanda Kumar, who was Prabhupada's servant before me. He loved India. Me, not so much. So we made a little side plan. When Prabhupada goes to India, you'll be his servant. When he's in the outside of India, I'll be his servant. So there in Miami, Prabhupada walks into his room, he had a little cottage. It was the temple president's house, but Prabhupada stayed there. And he walks in, and I'm right behind him holding his white bag. And he walks in, and he stopped and looked at a picture of Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna's like this. Prabhupada's looking, it's painting. He said, I like this painting very much. Me, I made a mistake. I said, why, Prabhupada? Shouldn't have said why. He looked at me. He said, Arjuna, Krishna's telling him, you have to kill your family, relatives, your friends. He looked at me. He said, what to speak of leaving them? If Krishna wants, you have to kill them. I didn't understand. He was already seeing I wanted to leave him, his service, his personal service. And he's telling me, he said, if Krishna wants, you have to kill your family. What to speak of leaving your family? And I'm thinking, I just want to go back. Had a little baby, boy, wife, who wanted to go back. He said it in such a way I didn't even pick up. He was telling me what to do. That was Miami. Then we came here. Well, before that in Miami, same thing, his secretary was there. So I told the secretary, I said, look, Nanda Kumar, he's ready to travel, go to India. I'll stay in Hawaii with my family. We'll make that switch. But I could never say that to Prabhupada. I had no nerve to just be honest. And I always tried to get the secretary to do it. And I'm massaging Prabhupada before lunch. And the secretary comes in, offers obeisances. As I'm massaging Prabhupada's back, he said, so SrutaKirti wants to go back to Hawaii, and Nanda Kumar, come and be your servant. Prabhupada got quiet. And I'm massaging his back, and I think he did it right in front of me. How could you do that, Paramahamsa Swami? Why did you do that to me? And Prabhupada said, Nanda Kumar is expert. He said, but no, now he has his life. And then it just got quiet, and I'm still rubbing Prabhupada's back. And Paramahamsa said, oh, who will be your servant? Then he said, Paramahamsa said, so SrutaKirti should stay be your servant? Prabhupada said, that's all right. So all my plans finished. This is our position, everyone. We're servants of Srila Prabhupada, servants of Sri Sri Gaurnatai. Serious business, not a part-time work. When you travel with Prabhupada, you understood Krishna consciousness is not part-time. It's a full-time job, 24/7. So then after Miami, he comes here 50 years ago. I think all of you have heard these stories, Srila Prabhupada in Atlanta. You have to tell them again, just like we tell stories. We read Krishna book over and over. The Govardhan Leela, Krishna Leela, all these Leelas, they're eternal. They're ever fresh. Prabhupada coming here was very, very special. 3 days in this temple. But it was some of the most significant days I spent with him in over 2 years. And we know what happened when he came here. He came after visiting so many temples, 8 different temples, Mexico City, Radha Krishna, Caracas, Shri Gaurnatai, Miami, Shri Gaurnatai, and then he came here, this temple room packed, people looking in the windows, looking through the doors, the windows in the back, everyone. And Prabhupada came in, he gave his arrival address. And of course he started out, he was very blissful. Again, seen so many wonderful devotees that he's made. He says, Lord Chaitanya is making them. Prabhupada didn't see he was doing anything. This is devotee. So much, everything he did. And he gave the credit to his disciples, gave the credit to his Guru Maharaj, and he gave the credit to Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. And he sat down and he started to tell everyone. We've traveled, we were in Hawaii, Los Angeles, some Mexico City, Caracas. And then he looked at me. I said Miami, he said Miami. He said, and now we're here. And he said, your temple is the best. Everyone said, Haribol. He was so blissful. Everywhere he went, he was in ecstasy, this trip. 10 years. He turned the whole world. In the Krishna Loka. Everywhere he went. And then, of course, he started speaking. How did he start out? What was his first words? What was the first words he said in his lecture? All of you should know this. This history, Iskcon Atlanta. Parama Karuna. Prabhu.Everyone. He was looking at them. He was looking at them in Caracas. He was looking at same mold, same casting, same beautiful, effulgent. Prabhu.Everyone. He said the 2 lords. He said very merciful. He said giving. I don't have. Sometimes I play the lecture. I play it so you can all hear his words. As he becomes more and more emotional. He said, they're so kind. And this is what he's seen. Not just India, the whole world becoming Krishna conscious. The whole world, everyone chanting Hare Krishna. The whole world, Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet purifying the entire world. And he said, Krishna's also kind. He said, but he demands surrender. He said, but Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they're so merciful. He said, they don't require. And as he's talking, more and more choked up. And then he stopped. Shortest lecture he ever gave. I think it was like 2 minutes, 26 seconds, somewhere in that area. And then he stopped, and the tears just started flowing out of his eyes. He closed his eyes. And everyone, just like now, you didn't hear one sound. Didn't hear anyone chanting on their beads, no one coughing, no one, everyone just eyes fixed on Srila Prabhupada. And who is this person? Who is this person? What has he done? That was here, this place, most special, blessed place, this temple. Whatever you do here, this temple remains forever. Gaurnatai, they stay here forever. And then he said, the kirtan, he said, everyone knows Parama Karuna, and of course we always say, yes, Prabhupada. Then he started chanting, no one knew anything, no one could play the mridanga, kartals. Then he performed the first of 3 miracles that Radhakund needed to see to accept him as his Guru Maharaj, or godbrother Radhakund. He passed away many years ago in Vrindavan. Prabhupada grabbed the mridanga and was hot and humid Atlanta. Boom, boom. And he just started turning it and hitting it. And each turn would become higher and higher. He was playing. Then finally he could see, no one knew. He said, all right, you all learn. He said, tomorrow we'll do it. But he was immersed in the nectar, the ecstasy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. Not ordinary. No deities are ordinary. But I think even amongst the lordships, there's a different amount of mercy that you get from various deities. Some of them might be very, like he said, Krishna, demand surrender. But these two very merciful lords, they give you so much mercy. They, somehow or other, they keep bringing me back here to this festival. With my godbrother Siki Mehitis. Every time I see him, I was in Australia yesterday. 25 hours on an airplane. My wife and I sat 2 planes, 10 hours first flight to Seoul, Korea. Literally had 45 minutes to get to the next plane. We were met by one of the staff from Korea Airlines. Made us run. We had to go through security, had to change terminals, had to change gates. On my phone, I have a little walk. 1 mile we walked. We didn't walk, we ran to get to the next flight. We got on, they closed the doors. 13 more hours. So to come here, it was 24 hours of flying from Brisbane, Australia to get here. I had no choice. They offered me the opportunity to come here, to take part in this festival here. This is more and more what I realize. The more service you do, what they give you is more service. Learned this in Vrindavan with Krishna Balaram. I say, very tricky boys, crooked. Right? Krishna's crooked. Hair's crooked. His form is crooked. And how he grabs you, crooked. Everything's crooked. And once he grabs you, if you let him, he never lets go. He just gives you more and more and more. Never understand, Prabhupada. He did this trip that I'm doing. Literally 80 days we're traveling. Now it's up to 8 different countries, over 20 temples. In Australia, we were there for 28 days. I think I gave 30-something classes in 28 days. Bhakti Prakashberg, this program, that program. And I'm looking back, how did Prabhupada do it? We couldn't do it when we were 20 years old traveling with Srila Prabhupada. He made it look easy. Now, Siki Vihiti calls me up, wakes me up, jet lag. Didn't exist with Srila Prabhupada. You couldn't even say the words jet lag. One of his entourage tried it one day. Prabhupada caught us sleeping 10 o'clock in the morning, traveling 10-hour flights, 15-hour flights. For him, he just set his watch, finished. You arrive somewhere at 2 o'clock after flying for 20 hours, 4 hours later, it's time for the morning walk. I set my watch 6 in the morning, that's it. And we're like, we just want to sleep. We were 20. He was 76, 77. He would say, when you do devotional service, you never become tired. You become more enthusiastic. And I saw that with him. More and more enthusiastic to serve his Lord. He rang the bell there in Fiji. We're in Fiji, he rang the bell one morning. And I already knew. I could tell just by the way the bell rang what was going on. It wasn't a happy bell ringing the bell. And it always the same. I go in, offer obeisances. He'd be yelling at us, yelling at me while I'm still offering obeisances. Sleeping, everyone's sleeping like dead men. He wasn't sleeping. He was following his morning schedule. So regulated everywhere he went. Same thing at the same time. Everyone's sleeping like dead men. So where's Paramahamsa, his secretary, sannyasi? I said, in his room, Prabhupada, call him. You know, we had a mantra with Prabhupada. So Prabhupada wants to see you when he's really mad. And we like to say it to one another because it meant he was mad at you, not at me. He's mad at me enough. If I could say he's mad at you, he wants to see you when he's really mad, it was like, not me. But I wasn't feeling that. Prabhupada wants to see you. He's upset. We're sleeping. So then we both go in together. Me, what do we say, was glutton for punishment. I would go in even when I didn't have to get yelled at again. Whenever I called somebody to go in, I always went back in with that person, whatever it was for, whether they're going to get chastised, get instructions. Somehow or other, you just wanted to be with Prabhupada. Wanted to hear what he was going to say. And he never said, this is private. He said the opposite. We have no secrets. Once somebody tried to get the other devotees to leave, Prabhupada said, we have no secrets. Hare Krishna. He's from Vrindavan, he's Brijbasi, lives in Vrindavan. He's come to see you here. So then I go in with Paramahamsa. And again, we offer obeisances together. Prabhupada looks at him. Why are you sleeping? Always sleeping. Paramahamsa said the wrong thing. You never give a reason. You don't give an excuse to Srila Prabhupada. There are no excuses. The Guru chastises you, you deserve it. You don't say, well, look, I did this, did that, we've been trying. Nothing matters. It's his opportunity to make you humble, to teach you. It's his duty of the Guru. Why are you sleeping? Paramahamsa opened his mouth. He said, I have jet lag. Prabhupada looked at him. Jet lag, he said. He said, you're a sannyasi. Your business is eating less, sleeping less. Just looked at us like, this is our process. Reduce all material activity to nil. That was Prabhupada. Always engaged, traveling all the time so that we could all be here to worship beautiful Sri Sri Gaura deities. And I saw that. You make that connection with the lordships. They don't ever forget. Just like Prabhupada, how he signed every letter. He start every letter, please accept my blessings. Who would not accept Prabhupada's blessings? Happily accept. And how did every letter end? Your ever well-wisher. That means our relationship with Srila Prabhupada, it's eternal. All of us. Doesn't matter you have different initiating guru. He's your guru. That's in our Iskcon law books. Preeminent Shiksha Guru. And our line, Kundata Prabhu can tell you very nicely, much better than me. We're a Shiksha line. Who we hear from? Prabhupada, all of us. He's your guru. He's our acharya here in Iskcon. And our business is to serve him very nicely. So I see these connections happening over and over again. There in Vrindavan, 50 years later. The Artik, noon Artik. I got to do Artik with Krishna Balaram. And I'm remembering 50 years ago, I was standing right next to them as Prabhupada was doing the Artik. They don't forget. You see that Prabhupada says? Once you do a little service, they never forget. They'll never let you go. That's your blessing. Put that hook put that hook in you with a crooked little finger. They grab you. They'll never let you go. You can fight it all you want. You can fight it for lifetimes. If we're that foolish, if we're that rascal, we can fight and fight. But eventually you're going to give up that fight. I'm in the process of trying to give up that fight, being independent, trying to enjoy. There in Vrindavan, there, ultimate, so do or die in Vrindavan once you get there, and serve them. They're very, very happy. But what they do is they just keep giving you more service. We arrived there 5 years ago. My wife, she forced me to move to Vrindavan. We were living 5 years on the beach in Hawaii, right next to where Prabhupada stayed, on Waimanalo Beach. Beautiful, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. But no, she wanted to go back to Vrindavan, said, I'll see you. She left, said, you can get rid of everything and come. So I had two choices. I had no other choice, I had to do it. I went to Vrindavan. And very quickly, Krishna Balaram, they just stole her. Stole her. They said, you all know that t-shirt, I lost my heart in Vrindavan. So I was going to make a t-shirt that said, I lost my wife to Krishna Balaram. He just took her. And you know what he gave me? Little Mahaprasadam at the end of the day from his plate. She'd bring me some Mahaprasadam. And I was satisfied with that. But now 5 years later, and of course, he's also stolen me. Even coming to do this trip was difficult to leave Krishna Balaram Mandir. We've been there 5 years. Haven't been to any other temple in Vrindavan except Krishna Balaram Mandir. Because I was with Prabhupada. Some people say, they'll say, you're a fanatic. I'll say, yes, well, Prabhupada trained me up to be a fanatic because he was also a fanatic. He didn't want anyone outside of his teachings, anyone outside of his temples. His secretary called him one day. Asked where his secretary was. Oh, Prabhupada, he's went out. He was visiting the temples in Vrindavan. Radha Govinda, Madan Mohan. So we came back in the afternoon. Prabhupada rang the bell, call him. I knew what that was. Call him. And we go in the room together. Prabhupada says, where were you? I said, oh, I was taking darshan of the deities at the temple here. Prabhupada said, I put all of the holy places, all the tirthas in the courtyard of the Krishna Balaram Mandir. He said, your business is here. Me, I didn't even get to go in the courtyard in the daytime. I had to sit in my room within earshot of his ringing a bell. Everywhere I went around the world, I never saw anything anywhere. On the morning walk, wherever Prabhupada walked, and even then I didn't see anything because I'm holding the microphone, I'm standing, walking next to Prabhupada. Back in the room. One day he said to me, I went to Mongol Artik in New Dwarka. One day, my godbrothers convinced me, even though I said my business is to sit in my room 24 hours a day, wait for the bell to ring. Does he ever ring the bell 4 in the morning, 4:30? I said, no. They said, but he could. Come to Mongol Artik. Parikshit leading kirtan, Bhardaraj leading kirtan, Rukmini Dwarkadish. So I went. 10 minutes into the kirtan, Mongol Artik, I got a tap on my shoulder from Prajumna. Prabhupada wants to see you and he's really mad. Our mantra, that was our other mantra. I knew I was in trouble. Ran out of the temple room. Ran upstairs, offering obeisance. He didn't wait for you to look at him. He's already yelling while you're offering obeisances. Where you been? I've been ringing this bell for hours. maybe 20 seconds. But he had different time frame. He was heavenly planet time frame. 1 second's like a year to him. If he has to wait a few moments. I said, Prabhupada, I went to Mongol Arctic. You have no business going to Mongol Arctic. He said, your business is to be in my room. He said, what if I need something? I said, yes, Prabhupada. I was the only person in Iskcon who was at Maya because I went to Mongol Arctic. Everyone else, you're in Maya. You don't go to Mongol Arctic. I was in Maya. So you have to know what your service is. And it was a very special service that he gave me. And he continues. You do some service, your gift, your reward is more service. If you want everything else, don't even try. You can be bought off cheaply. You want some cheap rewards, you want some money, want some fame. He'll give you all those things. But then you won't get Krishna. After all, we're all here for the same reason. We want Krishna. We want Sri Sri Gaur Nitai. We're here for Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. So he just gave me the signal. So we're gonna finish here. We have a few minutes. Anyone has any questions?
Could you say something about the Arctic? How did it come? He'd offer that Arctic.
So that was, like he says in this photograph, this painting came from New York Temple.
Yeah.
They borrowed it 50 years ago. It's been on loan for 50 years. I think it expired. So that day we came into the temple room, and of course that painting was on the Vyasasan, and then they had on the side, picture of Prabhupada on the side. And you never knew what Prabhupada was going to do. So he's going to do the arti, which again, everyone just seen Prabhupada do anything other than just give a class, morning walk, to see him play the mridanga, to see him offer arati to the deities, special ecstatic symptoms everyone would get. His ecstasy wasn't even our ecstasy. I saw that just like Lord Chaitanya opens up the storehouse, ecstatic symptoms. That's what Prabhupada did. His ecstasy would overflow, and then we would be able to catch some of it. So he's doing the artik. This is 50 years ago. So they had an artik tray there, you know. The good one was on the altar. This one was whatever they have lying around, conch shell. So he does, he offers incense, and he offers the lamps, and the little conch shell, he offers the water. And then he's done, he's looking for the lota, but there's no lota. You know, there was only one lota, that was on that altar. He's looking for the lota, but there's no lota. And he looks into the doorway. The big leaders were there, and he goes, bowl. Everyone goes, Hari Bol! And he, bowl, Hari Bol! Everyone was running, Hari Bol! But there was no bowl. And he took the conch shell, and on the other side there by Mukunda Prabhu, there was a Tulsi Devi. And he just flipped the water and went right into the Tulsi plant. That was the second miracle for Radhakund, to see what he did. So then the arti goes on, and then it came time at the end of arti to blow a conch shell that was not blowable. You could blow all you want, but it wasn't going to make the sound that they're supposed to make. And Prabhupada just grabbed the conch shell, and you didn't even see him take a breath. He just, and it sounded perfect. 3 times he blew the conch shell. Radhakund decided then, okay, Prabhupada would give you that. If you needed to see something, to surrender to him, he would do it. He would do it. He knew everything every one of us needed. And he was happy to satisfy your desires. But then your job is to surrender. forever well-wisher. Loyalty. Only thing any of us can give is our loyalty. What else do we have? Maybe some of you are very, very, I have nothing else to give, but somehow or other, just try to serve his lotus feet no matter what, because he's given us everything. He's given us eternal life. He's our guru, eternally. We can walk away. He never walks away. That's the devotee. That's his mercy, his compassion. So we take this Krishna consciousness proudly to serve Srila Prabhupada, and very sincerely. Do your service very sincerely. And he'll bless you more and more service, more service, more service. And the more you do, more happy you'll become. So this is a very happy weekend. I'm here, I don't know how many times I've been here now, but I see Shri Gauranatai have been very kind upon me. They brought me back to Melbourne for the 50th anniversary. I see you do a little service, they say, come on. That's what Prabhupada say, come on. So this is the program. So all, we're here. Tomorrow, Rath Yatra Festival. We'll see you all again, Rath Yatra Festival. So, Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
His Grace SrutaKirti Prabhu Ki. And where is Sweta Vedita, huh? Thank you so much for coming, and he'll be here for the festival. So if you like, you can approach him and talk to him and ask anything personally you want to know about Krishna consciousness. And we're going to honor the sponsors of the festival. So we're going to have you give them a garland as soon as we get Sweta. Somebody look in the back for Sweta. Sweta, come in.
Hare Krishna. So I'd like to call on Pradeep and family, please come forward. And so Pradeep and family, they are sponsoring the feast for today for the Adivas ceremony for all the devotees. So let's chant one time Hare Krishna for the wonderful family. Yes. And he's also getting garland from SrutaKirti Prabhu. Haribo. Let's chant one time Hare Krishna for them. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. They're actually from Nepal, but they're staying now in Atlanta. And please, Mr. Uttanji, please come and do that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Mahaprabhu. So now we'll have actually prasadam for all of you for reading. So tomorrow there is a very big program, Ratha Yatra Festival, Jagannath Swami Ki. So there will be a reading of the deities. There is a Mangalarati at 4:30, and then there will be chanting of Japa around 5:15, and then Mangalarati is 4:30, and then there will be also Hari Katha, Katha on Ratha Yatra, one of our disciples speak, and then by 8:30 we'll have reading of the deities, then there will be a prasadam, and around 10:30, 10:15 we try to leave from this temple here to the deities to downtown. And then there will be a Arati, there will be guest speaking, and the Rath will start 12 noon. And by 2:30, the Rath will be over and everybody comes back here, we'll have prasadam, and from 3:30, 4 o'clock we'll have cultural program. And there will be wonderful devotees visiting from all over, a lot of proper disciples, you can have their association. So thank you all for coming. Hare Krishna. And we do need a lot of volunteers for cutting up vegetables. If anybody wants to help, you can go and see Lakshman Prabhu now. If you have some time, you can spend some time there to cut the vegetables. Tomorrow we are feeding almost 1,800